Hello, all.
Welcome back, loners.
Why are you looking at me?
Continue what you were saying.
That was it. I just was saying hello.
All right.
Roll the intro.
This is episode 353. All right, we hope all of you all are doing well out there. I saw recently that there was a giant protest in the UK for white nationals.
What else is new?
Yeah. I feel like this had something to do with Charlie Kirk's death. I'm not going to lie. But
I mean, the same night of his assassination, a bunch of Proud Boys were going out saying, what were they saying? Like, white man rise or some shit. It's like the fact that you're assuming this wasn't also a white man who did this.
Oh, like right after it happened, before they knew who it was.
Yeah.
They were immediately Trump and all the politicians were like, it was a left-wing, like, crazy transgender person.
Regardless, it's like, I feel like white men just want to be oppressed so bad in this country. They'll find any reason to, like, whip out their masks. The only time they will wear a mask.
I agree.
And their uniforms, because somehow they're all matching.
Oh, I think California actually just made it illegal for ICE to not show their face while they're arresting. Hopefully that actually
I wasn't talking
passed.
about ICE, but yeah.
But no, I'm just saying, yeah.
Another terror group out here.
I know there are people who sign up like bounty hunter type shit to just be like, let's go fucking get paid and do this.
Did we ever
like
talk about what happened to my mom or no?
No.
Okay, real quick. You can fast forward if you want, but my mom is trying to get her real ID, because you have to have this thing called real ID now, and actually I'm getting mine I think tomorrow. But anyway, so because she's not born here, she came here as a baby, she has to go through like a lengthier process, right? Okay, so she books this appointment with a lawyer, and this is like in August. And she goes, oh, just letting you guys know I have an appointment for this, like, to get X, Y, and Z done with the immigration attorney, right? So then Brian and I are like, we should probably go with you just because things are, like, really tense in downtown, right? She goes, okay, if you guys want, right? I had no, like, intention of instilling any fear in her. It was very subtle, the way I was like, maybe you shouldn't go alone, right? Because my mom is as paranoid as I, she emails them and messages and says, hey, is there any chance, we can do some of this over email versus like me having to go all the way to downtown? Now, granted, yeah, it's a stupid fucking question. Obviously, you need to be present in person. You can't just be like sending information over email. Like, there's just like authentication factors that you can't really get through email, right? Okay, anyway. The nastiest email. This person writes back pretty much saying like, what do you think this is, blah blah blah. Actually, I'll send it to you, you can put it up here.
Okay.
It's not the nastiest email, but like it was pretty obvious. From a
professional lawyer, it was
pretty obvious that this person was sketchy as fuck. So she sent it to me. She goes, dude, I just messaged them and asked them this, and this is their response. And I was like, yeah, I think that's a bullet dodged.
Yeah.
Needless to say, sketchy as fuck. And I'm not saying that person's intentions, but I don't think they were a legit immigration attorney.
I think they were getting paid for turning in, because there have been a lot of cases where they'll illegally detain people at the immigration courts where they're trying to actually do everything.
She actually texted me today because I think she redid her appointment. Yeah, look, she texted me a couple hours ago. I made a phone appointment tomorrow at 5. for a consultation. Her legal assistant said, wait for people at the court, not the attorney's office. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see. But
anyway, it's just annoying because this is just all unnecessary mentally, physically, financially.
For everyone.
And everyone's part.
Yeah, agreed.
And if they try to take my mom back to Egypt, good luck. Good luck.
All right. Let's,
she will go fucking tooth and nail.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway.
So this video came out a little while ago. It's by the Damage Report. I believe that's the channel. The Damage Report. Yeah. Never done a video by them, but
I've never even heard that channel.
so it's about JD Vance. Was like he dropped some like threat or something else about, because he's saying that like the hate speech type thing again, and like Charlie Kirk and all this stuff. So let's see.
I think this guy's trying to siphon all of his followers.
Maybe.
Like, I am your new leader.
Yeah, I know. All right, let's see.
While our side of the aisle certainly has its crazies, it is a statistical fact that most of the lunatics in American politics today are proud members of the far left. So when you see someone celebrating
First, that's bullshit. That there are no stats to show that.
Charlie's murder, call them out. And hell, call their employer. We don't believe in political violence, but we do believe in civility.
Yeah, so basically nothing that he said there was true. He knows that it's not true. He knows that the vast majority of political violence comes from the right. It's very well established.
Right.
We've seen it in even our recent American political history with assassinations, with riots, with coup attempts. You know that he doesn't believe a damn word coming out of his mouth. But we do need to talk about what JD Vance is up to these days. For some reason, rather than doing his job as vice president, he decided to host Charlie Kirk's show yesterday. I don't understand why his pay wouldn't be docked. He didn't show up to work. But anyway, that's why he's there on tape. That's not why he...
Okay, I'm sorry. But just for people calling out this, like, weirdness of why Charlie Kirk is being put on this fucking pedestal by all these people, you would think that he was the vice president or, like, about to be president. The way that so many people are commemorating him. It's like... There's no commemoration like this for veterans, for children that die in schools or school shootings. It's like, it's just weird. And it just goes to show that there was some weird corruption going on with Charlie Kirk, his business, Israel, and the U.S. government.
Allegedly. I also have to remember that he played a huge role in getting a lot of Gen Z incel men to vote for Trump.
Yeah, 100%.
So they do value him
a lot
in that regards. But at the end of the day, he's not a politician, so you would think, that they were commemorating him like he was, like, like he held a place in office or something. It's very bizarre.
He has so much show makeup on. He has that every day. It just happened to line up with hosting a show. But he went on that show to not only express his desire for right-wing cancel culture to amp up a couple more pegs, but to bring on other members of the Trump administration to push for it as well. And so right there at the end of that clip, you saw him telling everyone watching it, you need to dox people for saying things that you don't like about the tragic killing of Charlie Kirk. You literally should dox them, get them to lose their jobs. Insane. Okay? And the way that they pitch this is people celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. And are there some people who posted things that imply that they're celebrating?
Yeah.
Sure, the internet has millions of people. There were some people like that. But you should also understand that what they encapsulate under the rubric of celebrating is incredibly broad. People who post jokes, even in our country where I thought that comedy was legal once again, are celebrating. People who quote Charlie Kirk are celebrating. Again,
this one woman got fired because she literally just put a quote. And
I will say, I've noticed every single person that I've come across on my social platforms that have been fired are all women.
There was that one.
I'm not saying it's only happening to them, but
I forget, he was like a commentator on like the Phoenix Suns for basketball. Like he was pretty high up there.
Yeah.
He got fired too.
You showed me something about that.
Because he was just calling out the hypocrisy of like the amount of commemoration and what's going on, but then like when kids are dying in a genocide and other things like that, no one bats an eye.
Everyone's fucking half asleep.
Yeah.
None of this has anything to do with actual values. This is about people they disagree with and they want them to lose their jobs. They are delighting in an Orwellian 2-minute hate against the liberals. And here you have not just Laura Loomer pushing forward or Ben Shapiro. This is the president, the vice president, Stephen Miller, all of them. They are unified in free speech is done. You are not free on social media. You can and should suffer severe consequences of your life if you post something on Twitter or Instagram that we don't like. And it's a bit ironic considering what the right has even recently said, what the Trump administration has recently said, including that the DHS recently said that if you post videos of ICE agents, you're doxing them and you should be locked up for that. Not like, posting their home address or anything, just literally a video of ICE. You could go to jail for posting that. But I guess these people who are trying to get like teachers and seamstresses fired around the country are probably not going to be investigated by Pam Bondi.
I don't know when this was posted, but there have been multiple websites where people on the alt-right are doxing anyone that is even remotely not mourning this man with their name, address, and
employer. All that. Yeah.
But like
crazy.
your home address is fucking crazy.
And the context, of course, is that, JD Vance has pretended for years, as everyone on the right has, that, oh God, they love free speech. Oh, First Amendment is so important. It is so important to not get down on people for saying things you disagree with. Stop demanding political correctness. Stop being woke scolds. That's done. We're done with that. The anti-woke scolds are fully in charge. They want to ruin people's life, and it's everywhere. And before we jump into our discussion, which we're going to get into, I just want to fact check, again, needlessly, the thing about the majority of violence being from left-wingers, which he knows is a vicious lie.
Bullshit.
There are many studies, including ones conducted by the United States government, by the DOJ, showing that the vast, overwhelming majority of political violence was perpetrated by right-wingers. Although some of it, interestingly, thank you, we'll get to that in just one sec. Interestingly, some of these studies are a little bit harder to find than they used to be, because evidently, in the last 4 days, the Department of Justice took down one of their studies that showed that white supremacist and right-wing political violence far surpasses any other form.
No
it's just
shit.
gone. I guess it was.
I mean, it all kind of boils down to like what the right and what the far right and what the far left want. Realistically, the far left, which is in this country, it's really like democratic socialism. We haven't gone further than that. Like, we're not going to turn into a communist country. It's not realistic, because of how far we are the other way. But all they are really fighting for is for people to have equal rights to things. And the people on the far right are saying we should have rights to things that other people should not have.
Right.
That's the difference.
Like, if a black woman has a job, she stole it from a white man.
Which, yeah.
And that's just not equal.
That's what I'm saying. It's like,
if you're a Bible thumper,
I think it comes down to that. And there's a lot more hate filled in the far right because they feel like things are getting taken from them to give to people to have like equal share of things.
They think if anyone has the same opportunity, that they're being robbed of something.
Yes. And so it fills them with more hate, which I think tends to turn them into these like radical people. I don't think that there's as much radical people on the left where they're going to go kill people for things.
Of course not, because the majority of the left is like pro stricter gun laws.
Yeah.
And or like, personally, I don't think anyone should be able to own anything maybe more than a handgun in this country. And
there's really no need for it.
I don't think there's at all.
Yeah,
there's so many other ways we can regulate assault rifles or just like, there's other ways to regulate those things. Do those in certain environments. Like, no one should be able to own those things.
You're saying like maybe rent them or something?
Yeah, like if you're going hunting somewhere, like regulated areas where it's like a temporary use. Like, there should be a way to track those things. Okay, it shouldn't be so easily accessible. That's just my opinion. And clearly, I don't know. It just really irritates me when I see a lot of conservatives that are so worried about their Second Amendment right being taken away. Are like, it's not the guns, it's the people, blah, blah. It's both. Like, essentially, it's both. And we've never lived in a country where we've, like, heavily regulated gun, So it's like, you can yap all you fucking want that you think it's this or that, but at the end of the day, we know the numbers with them. We don't know the numbers if they weren't this accessible.
It's true.
And obviously, if we got to a place where... Anyway... you get what I'm saying.
Politically incorrect.
Okay.
Factual, true, based in reality, but politically incorrect according to the regime. So that's gone. So now we go to this where it shows the sources of political violence. Left to right, you're moving through the years from 1994 to 2020. You can see, by the way, in 2020, there's almost no political violence that was not conducted by the blue bar, which is the right-wingers. Now, if you go back further in history,
crazy.
Around 2000, 2001, 2002, you actually see that there is more left-wing incidents right there. And I saw that and I thought, what the hell was going on around the turn of the millennium where there was so much left-wing terror and all that. And the people who did the CSIS, they explained
Was that near
it was
9/11 or no?
mainly it was left-wing attacks targeting property associated with animal research, farming, construction, things like the Animal Liberation Front, the Earth
That makes
Liberation
sense.
Front. And I was like, oh yeah, I do vaguely remember that when I was
We
young.
were like in what? How old are we? We were kids.
Like
They would like try to destroy like a bulldozer that was gonna.
we were like 6 or 7 or some shit,
I'm like, how old am I?
something like that.
It's probably like,
But
yeah, like
I-
8 or 9.
I do remember hearing about that when they would like do the like they were kind of like protests against like all the animal cruelty and shit.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
badass.
Take down a forest or something. So to be very clear,
Yeah.
those are not murders on that chart. They're not doing attacks against humans. They're destroying property, just to be clear. In the more recent years, we're talking about actual assassinations. We're talking about mass shootings. We're talking about all of that sort of stuff. And you
Yeah.
can see here, the ADL
Yeah.
also shows murders connected to political extremism. 55% is white supremacist. 14% is anti-government. Other right wing is 6. Left wing is 4% right there. I don't know what the 4% is, but sure, I'll give them 4%. All of these facts, Luke, are incredibly inconvenient when you're trying to get a cancel culture up and going. So I apologize for putting this out there, but what do you make of what's going on? This is the first we've talked about all of this insanity.
I've seen
Well,
this
first,
kid.
just on the topic of the stats around political violence, I'm sure you saw this, but months ago now, Grok would be asked this question, Grok being the Elon chatbot through X, and it would
Oh.
say the data that you just outlined. To which Elon Musk responded, Grok is being stupid. I'm going to fix Grok. And even now, after he supposedly fixed
I remember multiple times seeing that like Elon would shut down Grok because he like Grok was suggested also that what's happening in Gaza is a genocide too, and they had to take it down and like reset it so it wouldn't do that.
Okay, so when you're filtering the information, then how dependable is it?
It's not, and he's a giant. He's the wealthiest person, but he's a giant man-child. I honestly think.
Oh yeah, he is. So
Yeah,
that's
I don't
fine.
know. It just seems like he's very emotional with things, and he lets that take control of him, which most of the leaders do. But yeah,
Here for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know about the whole world, but
that's
yeah.
what I meant. Yeah.
Grok, meaning tried to change Grok, giving an accurate answer on the reality in America of political violence and where it's disproportionate. Still, I just asked Grok and the same answer came out. So even with whatever guardrails that Elon Musk put through, still, that's how overwhelming the data is that it has to. Otherwise, it would just be completely lying, which I guess even Grok isn't programmed to do at this point in time. And it gives the same accurate answer. And so I just want to, lately I've been trying to appeal, I know this is naive, but to folks on the right a little bit in making sure that I explain where we're coming from, because I know their algorithm, as you said before, is showing them random people who admittedly are saying disgusting things and trying to convince them that that is the broader left's reaction to this.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
know when John and I are discussing the facts, it's because the only way you can be serious about solving a problem, which we should all want to unite around addressing, being political violence, then you have to start with being truthful about it. And we have to actually understand the problem. If you're lying like JD Vance did about the facts on the ground of this horrific problem of political violence in America, then clearly you're not serious about actually proposing a solution. That's what I keep going.
Of course not. They just want to use it as fuel to divide more. Of course, and that's what they're gonna do. And that's what it sucks. But as people, we can't allow that to keep happening. But I don't know.
Through on the show, which is I've been so disheartened. It's not that I didn't expect it. I know the Trump administration, we all could have expected what their response was going to be. But you would think after something so horrific and so tragic and devastating for the Kirk family and the loved ones of Charlie Kirk, that people in these high positions of power, and right now it's pretty MAGA dominant, that they would feel some obligation to present a better path forward. Now, again, even as I'm saying that, I think
I agree. I also find it very odd that JD is so quick to die on the hill that this is like left extremism when there's like realistically, this man's probably gonna want to run for president in the near future. Yeah.
JD, yeah.
Has he not put the pieces together that the right is slowly regretting voting for Trump? So like leaning more into that alt-right is probably not going to benefit him in the long run. I don't know if they, like I get there was like a certain period where if something had happened to Trump, yeah, JD stepping up and taking on his followers would have made sense. Unfortunately, it would have, like, I understand how that would have benefited him, but now people really are starting to regret. Not all of them, not the ones who are honestly just far gone. But I do feel like a lot of people regret voting for him, or they just are disappointed by how he's been moving.
Yeah.
So in my brain, I'm like, wouldn't you kind of,
You're saying he should
like, step up and fucking do what Trump isn't doing? Because even, oh my God, what's his name? It's going to bother me.
Gavin Newsom?
No, the last VP, Mike Pence, of Trump's.
Yeah.
Even he kind of started to, like, back off aligning himself with Trump
He
towards
did,
the
yeah.
end because he
Yeah.
realized this is just heading in a direction that isn't sustainable. And I think that's what JD should be doing if he actually takes this career seriously, because this isn't going to last. Like, it's just not.
Well, I think
Sorry.
he's struggling finding a spot between that and then being loyal to Trump while he's in office, because I think you have to be loyal to Trump or otherwise he's going to get you out of there.
Cool, get him out. His time in there is not going to last much longer. Like, it's just not. It's crazy to see how much it hasn't even been a whole fucking year since he's been in office.
That's what I'm saying.
Holy
There's
shit.
still a while.
Right, but it'll go by eventually. And honestly, Trump's health's not looking too great. So
Yeah.
Rolls their eyes because we knew that probably wasn't going to be Trump's approach. But then to see the extra inflammatory and just outright dishonest language coming out of the Trump administration, and then what feels so irresponsible and so insulting to the reality of an assassination like this, for it to be exploited for these
Yeah.
political
It's pretty
outcomes
disgusting.
and clampdowns and things they wanted to do already, but now they're just saying it's in the name of Kirk. And
Yeah.
that to me is so devoid of empathy and of just an obligation to, and this phrase is now kind of laughed at because we failed so miserably, but the lower the temperature thing that previously the country would kind of talk about in the wake of something like this has been thrown out. And now it's just how much can we heat it up? And one of the key
Yeah.
parts of the argument they have to bring forward to do that is lying about the truth of political violence and where it's
Yeah.
mostly coming from. Doesn't take away from the tragedy of this. Doesn't mean that people mocking it aren't saying terrible things, but the influential folks, there's a big contrast in how they're responding, and in the influential positions in the Republican Party, it's just further inflaming.
Yeah, 100%. And as you say, I guess, considering the last few years, that's super surprising that it's going that way, but it is really grotesque. And I think the most important thing that you said there is they were already trying to do this stuff. They're exploiting the death of Charlie Kirk to do it. But like all this stuff about cracking down on the left, like the donors, they're trying to destroy Act Blue. They were already talking about doing that before he died. All of this, all that, like Trump was bringing up, George Soros should be in jail. He said that like 2 weeks ago before Charlie Kirk died. They're just exploiting his death, and it's grotesque. And, everybody gets to grieve in their own way. They get to, hurt in their own way. And I'm sure, most people who are closest to Charlie Kirk, they agree with all this politics. So, if they can even acknowledge it, they probably don't care that his death is being exploited. For me, if it was me, I would find.
Not only are they exploiting his death, they're exploiting his loved ones grieving too. Because, what?
No, sorry.
I mean, if you think about it. 'Cause
Yeah, no, I know.
feel like in hindsight, the people who genuinely did care about this man are going to be like, they're going to see. The picture will be a lot more clear.
Yeah, I mean,
they're going to be like, damn,
hopefully,
they really used his death in vain.
hopefully they realize that, but because Kirk's wife literally did a campaign with selling like shirts or something to go do like a GoFundMe type thing. They raised like $3 million and they're already millionaires. It makes no
that's
sense to
sick.
me. It's like
That's disgusting.
that's exploiting from within your own family.
I can go down a whole rabbit hole or conspiracy rabbit hole with that, but I
crazy.
won't because I don't want to.
Yeah, like I'd never try to come across as like mocking or celebrating for the assassination, but like
We spoke about this in the last video.
I know. I don't know. I kind of do lack sympathy for it because of things that have been said and because of the messages that he would push out. It's like, yeah.
Anyway,
All right.
nothing shocking here.
In this to be grotesque.
Thanks for watching. That's a cool channel.
The Damage Report.
Yeah, I've never
seen him either. I just
go follow them or go.
Yeah. I always put the original in the description if you want to go follow them. All right. Let us know what you think below, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and jump over to our vlog channel. All right. We'll see you.
Channel.
Bye.
Bye.